Oh, wow. We got a lot of folks in today. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Really excited to be meeting with you, and thank you so much for taking time for us. We will have a great little webinar for you this week. If you go in and watch through our YouTube channels, you'll see us say this all the time, and it's true every week. This is, for our team, one of the best hours of the entire week. This is where we get to connect directly with you, some of our most interested, engaged new brokers to the platform. We are super excited to be working with you. And today, our goal is just to give you a little bit more information about MGT. We'll run through a quick intro, me and my colleagues here on screen. We will talk about Appetite, run through a quick demo of the platform so you can see how that works and all the great features that are here for you. And then we'll wrap up with a Q&A. So along the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop those. Button should be somewhere around here on your screen. Just has a little question mark in a speech box that says Q&A right underneath. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then we will answer those as we go. But Jason and I always have a little contest here. I will try and make him crack up with a terrible insurance pun along the way, and he'll try and hit me with something out of left field and throw me for a loop. So please join our contest. If you have any great insurance puns, I always welcome those, and try and catch me on a question through the Q&A.
We got one already. Yes, James asked whether or not this will be recorded. Yes, we are recording it, and we will send it out afterwards so you can share it with your team. I don't think that one's going to stump you, though, Dan, so I just went ahead and took it.
Hey, starting them off with a light pitch. I like it. Sean, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
As Dan said, I'm Sean Halleran. I build our website and I run our marketing team here at MGT. We send out emails every week, so keep an eye on your inbox. And follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. We just launched a whole bunch of social channels, so you'll find all sorts of tips and news, announcements, and appetite updates, and all sorts of good stuff there. So make sure you check us out.
I wonder if that's ever going to come back around, like the old joke of like streamers who are like, yeah, and smash that subscribe button. Like maybe eventually it won't be like cringe to say that, and we can we can make some old jokes about it. So my name's Jason. Nice to meet you all. And one observation that I have really quick, I run our distribution team. It's my pleasure to work alongside these fine gentlemen every day, as well as an entire distribution team who's here to take care of our agents. We have a lot of fun on these webinars because we love working directly with you all. It's why we all do what we do. And this is one of the ways in which we get to engage with our agents the most throughout the week as one big group. I mean, y'all can probably tell from my really blurry screen, we got underwriters that sit right behind me. So ask any questions that you have. We'll get those over to the underwriting if we don't know them, whether it's here on the webinar or ongoing. We are here to support you all. One quick fun observation that I had before we get started. I love the progression of like outfits here. I feel like Dan, you look very nice in your suit, and Sean, you're like right there with him, but you're not presenting, so you don't have a suit coat. And I'm like, I'll just throw on a flannel. It's kind of cold today. So anyway, that's what I got. Yeah. Help me stub Dan. I love it. Let's get some tough questions out there for him.
Love it. Well, as we have said, my name is Dan, National Sales Manager here at MGT, and your guide through the wonderful world of MGT Insurance this afternoon. So let's start at the top. Who is MGT? What do we do? We are the world's first neo-insurer. What does that mean? Nobody knows because we're the first. And really, just to sum it up, put it in a nice little nutshell, basically, we are built off modern technology, and we really strongly believe that we can use that foundation to create a better experience for you, for our policyholders, for everyone involved in the whole life cycle, the whole ecosystem of quoting, binding, understanding insurance. And so we really deeply believe in that mission to protect the small businesses in your communities. And we are really excited to be partnering with you to that effect. Now, if you're thinking, wow, this sounds great, what can I write with you? Then thank you. We're on the right track here. I would say the easiest way to imagine our appetite is if you take a mental drive to the grocery store, a lot of what you'll pass by on both sides of the road are the types of business that would fit well with us. We are a great fit for professional and medical offices. We write a lot of different retail store classes. For those same retail store classes, we can usually support the wholesalers and distributors of those same goods. We will write your barber shops, your beauty parlors, your nail salons, coffee shops, grocery stores, convenience stores, liquor stores, restaurants. All of these and more are a very easy fit with us. Just as far as general guidelines, they are consistent class to class, which is nice, really makes it easy to kind of intuitively understand our appetite. For most classes of business, we'll accept up to 3 million in revenues, up to 5 million in revenue for office risks. We will write up to 2 million total insured value per location and up to 4 locations per policy. I think that does give you a little bit more flexibility than is typical in the small commercial market. Most carriers I've worked with might give you 2 mil, maybe 3 mil per policy. We give you 2 mil per location, up to 4 per policy. So it makes it a little bit more flexible to meet your needs and the needs of your business owner clients. We will write new ventures. We will write businesses that have had coverage lapses. We will write businesses that have not had coverage previously. We will write businesses that have had claims. So, I think if you were to take a look at some of our appetite guides and you were to say to me like, wow, Dan, this looks really vanilla Main Street, I wouldn't be super offended about that. But I would say don't limit us that way. We can take a shot at some of the stuff that doesn't fit perfectly neatly into that little box. So let me go ahead. I will start screen sharing here in just a moment, and then we'll run through things together so you can see how this all works. Now, I've got this pulled up to mgtinsurance.com. This is where our journey starts. Just quick side note here, but this is on night mode, which I think looks super cool. And Sean is on the call. I would say that even if he wasn't here, but this is really came straight out of his mind and his skills. So got to take a second here just to appreciate how cool this is. Look at the auroras, they move. We'll click
No,
into
Dan, stop. I hate it. I hate it.
Hey, you can send me that $20 after this.
Yeah.
So I clicked into the BOP appetite section. I always like to highlight this because as part of just my daily operations, I send out a ton of appetite PDFs. Those are great. They're really helpful. They're accurate, but they're only accurate for so long because we are constantly growing. And so the best way to stay up to date with all the changes that we're making, make sure you're never missing out on any opportunities, is to make sure you check this every once in a while. You'll see a list here at the top of all the states we're admitted in. And then you'll also have access to our chatbot, Amy. Amy is really cool. I think this is a great tool because a lot of times when people are reaching out, it's really just a quick, hey, can you write this? Can you write that? And I actually see pretty regularly people coming into our platform, quoting, binding business. Sometimes it's late, 11 p.m., sometimes it's super early, 3 a.m. I am here to help. If you're calling me at 11 or at 3 a.m., probably not here to help. Amy, however, is available for you 24/7, 365. She's just waiting. And then let's click sign in. That'll take us into the dashboard. And this does everything you would hope a dashboard would do. You can start new quotes out. First, we'll select the industry. Before we jump into that, though, I'll show you how you can also manage quotes that you and your team have been working on. And if you click into the policies tab, you can manage bound policies as well. And these features are available to policyholders too, so they also have the power to stay in control of their policy. So let's click up one. We'll click View Self-Service. I always like to show off this Documents and Communications page because this just brings a ton of value. This is where we have a full record of every communication we've ever sent out on this policy. Sometimes I'll be helping out on the support chat. Someone will write in, hey, I just did this endorsement 3 months ago. Now I need to show it to the bank. Where can I find that? And the answer is right here. 2 clicks will get you to this page. You can scroll down, find the endorsement, open that up and download it. You can also create certificates, download the deck page. You can see some quick policy details to confirm that policy is active, double check premiums. All that good stuff is right here. And then if you scroll up, we also have a payments tab. You can use this to update payment information and review payment history. And we have a claims tab that you can use to file and track claims. We'll click into the name in the upper right. That takes us back into the dashboard. And then to start the quote out, first thing we'll do is select the industry. This tool alone is bringing a lot of value too. You can kind of think of this as like very similar to what Amy does. It's got some keyword search built in, so it knows, for example, if you type in a roofer, that a roofer is a type of contractor. And it also knows our appetite on a class code level. So if you select that, it knows that contractors are not eligible for our business owners policy yet. Kind of on the other side of the coin, though, say you're working on a restaurant, there are a ton of different restaurant classifications. You can type the word restaurant in, that'll pull up all those different classes. And then from there, you can find the one that's going to best describe that risk. Once we've got the class of business selected, next thing we'll do is put in the address, and then we'll click go. Now in this page, you'll see a street view of that location. This is just an opportunity to validate the risk, make sure we've got the correct address. You know, if you're looking to quote, say, a great restaurant, you type in that address and it's a vacant piece of land, well, you know, maybe there's a typo in there. This also gives you a chance to do a little frontline underwriting. You can double check the condition of the sidewalk, the parking lot. You can make sure there are no dynamite factories next door. And then we'll start to describe the risk and the type of coverage. First question, do we wish to insure any buildings? Let's go ahead and say yes. Follow-up question, are there any other business or residential exposures in that building? If there are, we're just not going to be the best fit for that building. And if we say yes to that question, no drama, no headache, no practice quoting, the platform's just going to let you know, hey, that's not an appetite for us. So it makes it fast and easy to pivot and find a plan B when you need to do that. We'll go ahead and say no so that we can go along with the quote. And then you'll see a follow-up question here about builder's risk exposure. Very similar story there. Any builder's risk would be out of appetite for us. And as long as there isn't any, then we'll be able to proceed with the quote. Nice and easy. I am not going to make you all watch me type in the answers. Let's just say I learned my lesson from Amy a minute ago. So let me go ahead and click back into the dashboard and pull up a quote that has already been completed. Quoting with MGT is just 4 steps. In step 1, we'll enter in some basic information about the organization. The class of business, the address are pre-filling from the last page. We'll enter in the name, the phone number, gross sales. For restaurants, we ask about percentage of alcohol sales, some information about the business owner, and then we can add any additional locations up to a total of 4. We'll click continue. And then in the next page, we'll set the effective date. We'll answer a couple more questions about the business. This does get slightly more detailed for restaurants, but still not anything super complicated or obscure. Then we'll click continue again. And now we are all done with step 1. In step 2, we'll start to enter in some eligibility information. This page is such a whopper. We got 4 whole questions for you. I think these are also pretty natural too, so you can just really ask these conversationally and it won't feel like an interrogation. We generally will have anywhere between 3 and 7 eligibility questions, and this list is going to populate based on the specific risk that we're quoting, so it's only asking you what's relevant to that risk. Let's click continue again, and we are all done with the eligibility section. In step 3, we'll start to enter in building or location information. And quick tip here, I will see this happen sometimes where someone will start a submission out. They'll say, yes, we need building limits. And then by the time they make it here to page 3, turns out it's actually a rental unit. We don't need building limits after all. To fix that, you do not have to restart your submission. All you need to do is in this top drop-down box, select business personal property only. That'll take the building limits out, and then you can just roll through with a nice, easy BPP only BOP. For you all who are attending today, that is my little secret to share with you. Hopefully save you some time.
Hey Dan, we got a
But
couple of questions real quick, if that's all
oh
right.
yeah, let's do it.
Do you think you guys will ever get into lesser's risk market or continue expanding into more of the storefront types of risks?
That is an excellent question. I do think we will get there. Hard to give you any kind of meaningful time frame, but I would imagine sometime maybe mid next year. We are working right now. This year, our focus has been on a few things. We've been expanding our BOP appetite. We've gone from about 90 classes to closer to 300 classes of business. We've been expanding geographically. We've gone from being admitted in about 18 states to 45. So you can see we're growing really fast. We also have a really cool tech product, which is just another way to say a new online platform that's cooking up for you. That's going to be super cool. But once we've got these kind of big initiatives completed, they're out, everybody's happy and loves them. We're going to get back to growing the BOP appetite. And really, before too long, we're pretty much going to have everybody available for that BOP that could be realistically written on a BOP. I think at that point, you'll start to see us grow into other lines like the lesser's risk, potentially other lines of coverage like commercial umbrella, professional liability, crime. So having said that, for all of you, as you're starting to work with us, getting engaged, really loving everything about MGT, please share your feedback. We are super open to it because you will actually help guide where this goes from here. So don't hold back.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Dan. And to briefly answer, Corey, we are looking into it early next year is our hope. We no promises, but as Dan mentioned, it is actually something that's on our roadmap. We're looking into it. And in the meantime, we actually write that in excess and surplus, right? So what y'all are attending here is the admitted side overview of our platform, but we do have an excess and surplus that we offer strictly through AmWins. So if you have a relationship with them, we actually do write lesser's risks through them. So you can find our product there as well. I have another question for you, Dan. I have a company that gets yak bone treats, receives in bulk, repackaged product for online orders, 100% orders for retail. Is this something we can write with your company?
I would submit that as I believe we do have like a pet supplies distributor, and I think that would be a great way to get it started. Great question.
I was hoping that one might get you.
I would even say open up another tab, start working on that submission. Let's see who finishes first. It's a race now.
That's great, Dan. I love that. One last question. Are you able to insure multiple buildings on one location, such as outbuildings?
Love that question. Yes, we are. And so actually on this page, if we just scroll down here to the bottom, we've got add additional building. And so that's how you can add additional buildings that are at that same address. And then up here at the top, you'll see we've got the primary use of building. In this case, it's 1-1. You can select that and you can add other types of buildings so that we're classifying that building correctly. Great question.
Gotcha. And we had one more come in too, real quick, Dan. So if a car is driving at 32.25 miles an hour, how long does it take for them to go 1 mile?
It should take about 1.85 seconds if I did that right.
Oh my gosh, get out of here. All right, carry on.
So when we are quoting with building information included, it's still not anything super complicated. How big is it? What's it made out of? When was it built? What's the roof look like? A couple questions about what's going on inside. We do have a built-in replacement cost estimate for you as well. This is just a tool to make your life a little bit easier. If you have a different number that you're working with, maybe you ran a CoreLogic report that just came out different, then you can just enter in any value in here. This is a free entry text box. but it will be, potentially referred if it's too far outside of the value we think it might be. That'll just give us a chance to get in touch with the risk, make sure we're rating it correctly.
And while you're moving on to the next screen, we had another question from Corey. Any ideas on jumping into the hotel motel risk? And I can quickly answer this if you like, Dan.
Sure.
So we listed off some of what it is that's coming next. Contractors, we're looking into potentially LROs. No, don't, please, Corey, don't apologize. We love the questions, actually. Keep them coming. But I just wanted to briefly answer you that is something that we're looking at, is probably just going to be a bit on the horizon, right? So it could be a while before we wind up adding that to the mix, but we are interested in potentially pursuing it down the road.
Yep, absolutely. And just to underline that, keep them coming. These are great questions. Next step, after we add the building information, we can add any additional insured information that we need to add, and then we'll click continue again. And at this point, we have added all the eligibility, all the business information, all the location information. All that's left is the fun part, adding in some optional coverages. We'll click into step 4. You'll see a list on this page that is also coverages that are really populated based on that specific risk. So it'll only show you coverages that are available for that actual risk. We're not going to show you anything you can't stand behind. We'll select a couple of those. We'll click continue. In the next page, we'll answer a couple questions, really just to confirm eligibility, set terms. We'll click continue. And the same story here for our restaurant coverage edition. This has some really important coverages. So when you're quoting restaurants, I would always encourage you to take a look at this. We'll click continue again. And now we've got 4 great check marks here. Love to see this. We will click see your quote. And when that little circle starts to spin in the middle of the screen, this is where the magic's happening. Behind the scenes, it's running probably 48 different checks. It's geolocating the risk, it's scoring it 18 different ways. And so in just seconds, we've got a great quote back where you might still be waiting on someone to open that email with the accords if that's how you're used to doing things. Pricing is available either in quarterly installments or one annual payment. We do have a credit available for annual payments, and it will tell you exactly what that is. And then for quarterly installments, it'll tell you exactly what the down payment is, what each installment will be. The rest of this page, I'll scroll through pretty quick because I know everybody on this call has probably seen a million pages that look just like this. Main highlight here is we only are showing you bindable options. So we're not going to show you anything that you can't stand behind. And then we're also not automatically including every coverage under the sun and the kitchen sink. We're really giving you the ability to tailor this policy specifically for that business owner and not just throwing in a ton of coverage that, they might not be interested in, but still have to pay for. So we'll go down, we'll click continue. And then in the next page, you'll notice all these drop-down boxes are grayed out now. So they can't be edited from this page. You can click print quote. That'll just take this, turn it into a nice, neat PDF you can use as part of your proposal. If you do need to make any changes, just click previous here at the bottom. And then once they're ready to move forward, we'll click confirm and purchase. In the next page, you'll have the option to send a payment link to the prospect or collect their payment information live. We've just found over the years, not everybody likes to share credit card information over the phone. Totally understandable. We actually offer some cyber on our BOP. So when they're proactive about protecting that PCI, we appreciate it. If that's the case, just confirm their email address, click send to prospect. They'll get a nice professional looking email with a payment link that takes them to a page that looks just like this. From here, it's about as straightforward as it can get. Just select annual or quarterly, e-check credit or debit. One thing I will highlight here is we do not charge any payment fees, no matter how they choose to pay. From there, enter in the billing zip, make sure auto pay is selected. You can't always unselect it if they don't want to have auto pay, but it does help retention to keep it on. We'll pre-fill some of their contact info, make sure that's up to date. You can confirm their email address, agree that they are allowed to purchase the policy, and then click submit payment. Soon as that payment goes through, policy gets bound, gets issued instantly. Within about 45 to 60 seconds, you'll have access to the policy jacket. You'll have access to certificates, the deck page. So if you've got anybody who needs proof of insurance, you can shoot it over to them and then move on to the next thing on your to-do list. One thing that you didn't see here is an e-signing process or a, even better, print it, sign it, scan it, fax it process. We actually do not require signed apps to bind coverage. So we do have a link here to print the application. You can certainly download those, print them out, have them signed, retain those for your records. I work in insurance, so I can appreciate a good paper trail as much as the next guy. But it is not a requirement for us. So if we're ever in a last minute, like we need to get coverage bound kind of situation, don't let us hold you back there.
We did have
So
a couple more
always,
questions come in, Dan, real quick.
yeah.
Is blanket AI included?
Blanket AI is not included. We actually don't offer a blanket additional insured endorsement currently. We are planning to expand into contractors. When we do, we should have the blanket additional insured available at that time. Generally, the kinds of entities we're covering don't typically need the blanket additional insured. And pricing for an additional insured typically is going to be $25. So it'd take a lot of entities to really make it to where the blanket additional insured is more economical.
Yeah. And some inside baseball here for y'all. Is that the right term? I don't know sports terms. Insider trading? No, wait, hold on. That's horrible.
I think inside baseball is funny because it's not really a baseball term. It's just baseball is complicated.
Oh, cool. See, I don't even get it. It's it's associated with telling you all something that's behind the scenes. We're working on our filing for the blanket AI right now. Actually, Dan, I just talked with our head of underwriting this morning about it. It's on a rush list to get in as soon as we possibly can. So y'all should see that here soon. We did have another question. Payments are only billed quarterly or yearly. And it wasn't phrased as a question, but we'll take it as one. That is correct. Yes. At the moment, that's another thing that it is that we're working on as part of this filing too, is to allow for monthly billing because we know that that's the preference of some insureds, and we want to get that option to y'all.
No,
Corey,
great question.
yeah, really great questions from the whole crew that's been here today. So no worries, Corey, just having fun with it. I appreciate it.
So I think it always takes a little bit extra long when I'm narrating along the way. Luckily for you all, that is not a feature that's just built into the typical platform experience, at least not yet. So typically, once you're in there without me yakking along the way, most submissions are actually completed in 6 to 8 minutes through the platform. My favorite statistic to share is over 10%. Or sorry, over 80% of our policies go from logging in to start the quote to bound and issued in 10 minutes or less. So the hope here, the goal, the reason why we love what we do is that ultimately we want to let you write this business, make it fast, make it easy so it's not taking your whole day, offer that protection to the business owners in your community who keep the economy going, but still give you time to focus on all the other things that are so important in your day, whether it's working on a huge, complex like fleet type policy, whether it's just taking the kids to the park or going to see the game after school, doing some hobbies, whatever the case is. Like we all have stuff that we do outside of the office. Our goal here at MGT is to make your time in the office really easy so that you can have that extra time to focus on all those other important things. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. If there are no further questions, then I will let you all get back to your day. But before we sign off here, I will say the most important part of this webinar is actually not what you just heard, it's what happens next. So jump in the platform, run a quote, maybe two, maybe three if you're feeling really good. If you want to say, hey, Dan, you did a good job, I will know if you do 3 quotes. And then let us know what you think. We, again, would love to get your feedback.
I thought you were going to say the most important part is that I still have yet to stump you. I like what you said better though. That's more pertinent. Thanks for coming today, everybody. It was a pleasure having you here, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great one.